Let me tell you something. My mouth is watering for Y2K. It wants food from the 2000s. I really want that 7-layer burrito. Did you know it's vegetarian? How about the delicious chili cheese burrito? I'm sure that the chili at Taco Bell is top quality, just like Wendy's. How about the Doritos taco? That's the cool ranch locos flavor. Ooh, or, now we're talking, caramel, apple, empanada. You know it's fresh made, just like in Mexico. So let's go, let's hit this goal, and let's do DSP Tries It today.
Here it is. So you get 5. That's the equivalent of 29 cents. I'm just going to ban you right now. Here we go. Here we go. Get banned.
So either you enjoy and you support when you can and you understand why I ask for contributions, or you fuck off. It's one or the other. There's no in between. This is actually a case. There is no black and
I don't
white.
want to grow up. I'm a Toys R Us kid because there's a million toys in Toys R Us that I can play with. From bikes to trains to video games, it's the biggest toy store there is. I don't want to grow up because maybe if I did, I couldn't be a Toys R Us kid. There you go. Everyone knows that.
What's up, y'all? It's been a week. Some interesting things have happened. Some really boring things have happened. So let's start off today with this clip. And yeah, we'll get into it. And let's cue the sad music.
No, my parents never expressed any interest of being in any of my content, just like my parents never expressed interest in pretty much any of my interests. My whole life, and that's not an exaggeration.
Way to make your parents seem like assholes, right? Like, they've never expressed any interest in anything I ever done. They just didn't care for me as parents. Bunch of losers is what they are.
When I was a kid, I liked playing with action figures and things, and my dad would do that with me, and then I would do it with my friends. Then I got into video games, and my dad would play Atari and stuff with me.
So then we're going to follow it up with, my parents expressed interest in things that I was doing growing up.
No, my parents never expressed any interest of being in any of my content, just like my parents never expressed interest in pretty much any of my interests.
Okay.
And then we did some sports and stuff together. Like, I always did sports and stuff with my dad. But once I got into video gaming, he was just not into it. So after the Atari, like when I started going to arcades, my dad would drive me to the arcade, and he actually was at night school at the time.
Okay, so what I'm gathering from this is Phil had one main interest through his entire life, and that was video games. As soon as he got old enough to play video games, he just didn't care about anything else. But to start this whole thing off with, my parents never expressed any interest in anything I was doing, yet your dad was working and went to night school and drove you to the arcade and worked on school stuff while you were playing video games in the arcade. You know, he's essentially blaming his parents for not expressing interest in anything that he's doing. Anyway, let's keep watching.
Taking classes for college, and so he would study and do stuff while I was there at the arcade playing as a young kid. But then as soon as I was old enough to start doing stuff by myself, that was it. So my parents have no interest in video games or anything like that, so I doubt they've ever even watched a video of mine. I'm serious. I'm really serious.
But can you blame them in this instance? Let's take a step back and realize that this guy above me has not had a successful year in a long time up until this past year when he met Kino Casino. And unfortunately, that's true. He didn't really start making any real money until then. Sure, he could get by, but I wouldn't call this a successful streaming career up until 2024. I mean, 2019, his mom was trying to work on a 10-year plan with him to get him back into the job force because he was struggling as a content creator. She was trying to help him find a job. From my understanding, I don't know what's true, but we've heard him talk about the 10-year plan. If your career is to play video games and you're struggling in that, why would your parents express interest in something that they don't think that it's a tangible or a reasonable thing for you to be doing up until retirement? But for people like Phil, who are constantly pulling in 300 or so viewers and asking 100 times in a 4-hour stream to support it, how do you really go back to your parents and be like, I'm really successful, guys, you should check out my videos? And I think that DSP has probably been like, hey, check this out. You know, I've got a lot of views on this video, or this is something that you guys might enjoy. We're playing a fishing game. And they probably just never looked at it. They just never expressed interest in it because it's just some video game. It's a very old school mentality, but they just don't have interest in it. And unfortunately, Phil never continued to try to get interest in other things with his father, like fishing or anything like that, that he said his father was really into, that they used to do when they were younger. He never tried to keep these things alive. Even if you didn't play sports for school, playing catch with your dad, you know, if you were really interested in baseball or something like that. And who knows, But the way that this guy describes everything, I just have to take it at face value. And I just think that was the most depressing statement he's made in a while.
I don't think they care about this stuff. I mean, it's funny because, you know, I say to my parents, you know, you can just tune in whenever you want to see how I'm doing, to see how I look and everything. And, you know.
But if you're Phil's parents, would you really want to have to go to his video game stream to see how your son is doing, rather than your son making the time to fly out to see you or calling you up on FaceTime? I know he said that they couldn't use FaceTime or something like that, or they couldn't figure it out. But there's other ways to do it. But it just seems like he puts in so little effort with his parents. It's like, if you guys want to see me, I'm always on stream 6 days a week. You can come check me out, come say hi. Like, obviously they're not going to do that, because it's the lowest form of showing someone that you care enough to reach out to them, to see them, to have conversation with them, that you're just like, come by on a stream where I'm playing a video game. They don't like video games in the first place, Phil. Why would they come check out your stream to see how you're doing? Why don't you call them up or go see them if you want them to see how you're doing? Because I guarantee if they were like, Phil, why don't you come fly out and see us for a week in, you know, December or something like that, he'd be like, oh, I can't do that. I'm way too busy right now. My schedule is so busy. I don't even have time to upload the videos I'm working on. How can I get out there for a week? You know, like, that's kind of the vibe that I get from this. Anyway, that was the depressing statement. I just can't believe he said it out loud. It's like sad. It's sad because you're the only child of your parents. If your parents had like 3 or 4 other siblings and they had other stuff going on, especially growing up, I could see where their attention may be kind of limited. There's only so many hours in a day, especially if you have a brother or sister that does sports or they participate in school, extracurricular activities. Your parents' time is going to be taken up a lot by that. But you were an only child and your parents still tried to make it work. And here we are making them look bad. They never expressed any interest in anything I've ever done. And after I was able to drive myself to the arcade, my dad was useless to me. I mean, what else is there to say? All right, let's move on. Now, as y'all know, it's been a weird week with Phil. He's had one guy coming in at the beginning of the streams or throughout the streams, or at least early on throughout the streams. They're contributing tons of money. He's hitting his goals pretty quick. Life is good. Life is great, actually, for Phil. Let's talk about yesterday, okay? Because yesterday, Phil's early stream, he made over $500, and I think most of it was from one person. It was the Final Wish guy that comes in. Correct me if I'm wrong. As soon as his stream started yesterday, his new big whale, his new top contributor came in and dropped like $151. Phil instantly hit his goal. So he made over $400, $500 on this stream. I don't know. He made a lot of money though. 3 goals. I think he did his DSP tries it, which nobody was expecting to, and did really well in that stream. Comes back for the night stream, you know, his American Truck Sim brings it back. You know, he threatens his audience like, this is gonna be taken away, guys, if we don't hit $150 of support tonight. Which is like, you've already made more than enough money today. You can have a bad stream, and I'm pretty sure in the past Phil said, it's okay if I have bad streams or games that don't hit the support goal if I have other games that do really well. Well, today was a good example, but Phil's not going to let that slide because, you know, he needs as much money as possible, and we need to hit the goals every single stream. It's not a question, it's a requirement. So let's check out last night.
You lose your senses, you play horribly. You see what happens, guys? Well, guys, if you want to keep American Truck Sim in the rotation, you got to support it. Right now, we haven't had any support for 16 minutes. It was Slayer who last did some support, but we are not even halfway to our goal, and we are just about halfway through our stream. So we got to get some support rallying right now. We got to get some subs over on Kick. We got to get some super chats. We got to get some tips. You want this to continue, we got to hit that goal by the end of tonight, so let's go.
You can't have one off stream, Phil. You can't just play games to have fun. And we all obviously know that, you know, it's all about the money, whatever. But something funny here is 16 minutes. He knew exactly when his last piece of support is coming. He's done that before too. He's been like, oh, guys, it's been 18 minutes and 30 seconds since I've received support. Maybe not the seconds part, but we need to hit that goal, guys. If you want Truck Sim to continue, you need to give me the money that I require to keep playing this game. Because, you know, I only stream for 2 hours at night, you know, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. So this is a 2-hour stream that he does here. This American Truck Sim. He needs to hit $150 to keep playing this game. He demands $75 an hour to play American Truck Sim. Just let that sink in. It's disgusting. And I would be lying if I didn't say that when he gets these whales that come in, for some reason, it always just seems like this is his new normal, right? Like all of a sudden I'm getting all this money from somebody and my streams are doing really well. What do you think Phil said last night?
So let's say, for example, tonight we hit 10 goals. we could do DSP tries at IHOP tomorrow morning.
I mean, he just feels he's so entitled to your money that he says, if we happen to get $1,500 tonight, guys, we could do DSP tries it tomorrow. We could do IHOP tomorrow morning, you know? Sure, I can hardly hit my goal right now on this stream, you know, I'm only at $50 out of my 150 requirement, but if we hit 10 goals, like if somebody generous came in and dropped a bunch of bombs, you know, memberships or subs or super chats, there is a chance, guys, that we could hit it. That's just the mentality that he has. Because when you're out of the job market for so long and your income is just other people's handouts, I mean, you don't work for money anymore, right? So you just expect things to come, right? You don't have to do anything. You just ask for it and you shall receive it. Let's see what else he has to say.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Wow. I was not expecting this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another night of American Truck Simulator here on DSP Gaming. We're in mid-September. The last time that we did this, it was August, and we have been playing American Truck Sim for about 4 straight months. We were doing it once a week as a late-night chill stream. People seemed to like it. They would show up and engage in support, although admittedly it wasn't a huge crowd. I would say we even had usually under 200 viewers on YouTube, and we had a good, like, maybe 70, 80 on Kick. It was always a kind of a close-knit group who like to hang out and have a lot of interaction with, you know, me, dialogue, a lot of talking back and forth. So these streams worked more for, like, us hanging out than really caring so much about, oh, I have to get the job delivered and we're upgrading the truck or anything like that, right? But hey, people liked it so much that over the time we had all these DLCs that were donated by Buckwell and people were coming out in droves to hang out. And then all of a sudden, I noticed over a course of 2-3 weeks, the viewership started to dwindle pretty bad. I don't know why that happened. And then that last time that we did it at the end of August, we did not hit our support goal. It was actually not, you know, a little bit further away than I even thought we would be. And it was disappointing, but hey, I had always laid out the rules that if we hit the goal.
The most disappointing thing is you base this off of one stream not hitting the goal, not making $75 an hour that night. You said, this game's off the table, guys. I'm not playing it anymore. Why would I play this game where I can't make $75 an hour when I could play anything else and make $78 an hour and hit the goals? I don't know why I said 78. It just kind of ruined my analogy, whatever. Somebody gave you a bunch of DLC, you know, a lot of people were looking forward to it, and it became all about the goal. One night he didn't hit the goal and he said, it's too bad, guys. Should have paid for it. But, you know, after all, I mean, this guy's selling his time to you and he demands $75 an hour, so it's his right not to play it. Doesn't mean he should have fans, but it's still his right that he doesn't have to play the game because he didn't make $75 an hour.
Truck Sim continues. If we don't hit the support goal, we retire it and we work on other games. So that's what we've been doing for 2 weeks. We've been doing all these other games and made good progress. You know, we've beaten a couple of games in the last couple of weeks now. But what happened is a lot of people were upset. They were like, man, I really like Truck Sim, and now it's not in the rotation anymore. We don't even have any late night chill streams left. They're all gone. So people yelled at me and said, would you bring back Truck Sim?
Again, with this, people are yelling at me. People are telling me, dude, you mean people in chat are telling you to play a game? Yeah, they're probably pissed at you because of the way that you drop games and stuff because you don't hit one support goal one night. But his whole thing is like he's at a war with his audience, right? He's like, people are yelling at me and telling me to bring this back, and then turns around and is like, you guys wanted this, so you better give me $150. We better hit the tips goal tonight or the game's off the table, and I don't want to hear about it anymore. And then goes off on a shtick where he treats everybody like a 5-year-old that's watching.
That it was just a bad night. That's what I was told. Phil, it was just one bad night. It was a one-off. It was what they call an outlier. It's not the normal. It's kind of a weird night that...
Who is telling you this? No normal person has this thought process. Right here.
Yeah, but what happened is a lot of people were upset. They were like, man, I really like Truck Sim, and now it's not in the rotation anymore. We don't even have any late night chill streams left. They're all gone. So people yelled at me and said, would you bring back Truck Sim? That it was just a bad night. That's what I was told. Phil, it was just one bad night. It was a one-off. It was what they call an outlier. It's not the normal. It's kind of a weird night that, you know, maybe something happened out of the norm. Well, tonight we're going to see. I'm back. So far, we've got about a third of the goal that we have hit. People are...
I hate when he says this thing where it's like, people are telling me this, guys. Who is telling you that? Why don't you say their name? Call them out. The reason he doesn't call people out is so he doesn't have to prove his point. Because if he was like, Jade over here on YouTube is telling me that he's going to leave if I don't play this game, he's not going to come back. And if Jade didn't say that, Jade could call him out in chat and be like, dude, I never said that. You're lying. But he doesn't have to make that up because he's not naming anyone specific. Who's telling you that? And he doesn't have to say like it's somebody behind the scenes. You know, I don't want to. I'm not going to tell you their name because then trolls can go do bad things to them. You know, like it's just like an endless circle of lies. It feels like, and I'm not saying he's lying in this specific instance, but it's like you never have to take responsibility for the words or the things that you say, especially the empty threats that you hold over your audience's head when it comes to playing a game or dropping a game. It's 20 seconds left. We'll just finish this off. I don't know if there's anything noteworthy to talk about.
Already have supported Truck Sim early. And so we're at around $50 of support. I think we're at like 55. If we hit 150 tonight, Truck Sim remains in the rotation and we'll play it again next week. But if we don't hit the support goal tonight, well, that's it. So let's see what people want to talk about tonight. Let's see what we do. I don't even remember where we are. But before we get started,
of course, we gotta bust out the drinks, which I feel like is the main reason for bringing this game back. It's just an easy game for him to drink on, and it just kind of works with the game, I guess. No. Anyway, let's move on. And I gotta play this clip. This one sent me over. So Cerulean86 posted this on X. Let's take a look at it. It's funny if you haven't. So Cerulean86 posted this on X, had me dying, so I have to share it with y'all. But all credit goes to Cerulean86 for this edit.
And voice.
My name is Anne.
Your me is good to go.
I can't wait to start living here.
The me characters you will enjoy their island life however they see fit. And voice.
We'll watch it one more time. Why not, right?
Good to go.
I can't wait to start living here.
The me characters you will enjoy their island.
That set me over. You should have thrown in one more thing in there. You should have at least thrown in the a black woman. You know the quote that he said. That sounds horrible with me saying it now. It sounds like I'm racist. Hopefully I can find that clip to put it in here. Otherwise, I'm gonna look really bad at the end of this.
How nice. He walks his daughter to school. This is actually a nice story. And the soundtrack's outstanding. La la la. La la la. Look out, there's a black woman coming. Ah! She takes them both out. Boom!
And last but not least, we have DSP talking about his back injury. Or lack of one. Just for context here, he's talking about standing desks. I think somebody asked him a question, talking about his setup and why he doesn't use a standing desk and whatnot.
so standing is a better option. You can adjust the height and everything. I don't need that. I'm good. I don't have a back injury. That's when I had my back injury for the first time. It was really hurting me those first several years. I was...
And now we have a clip from exactly 1 month ago talking about his back injury. Let's take a look.
200 yards. Turn left.
In the 2000s, my life was not very good. In the 2000s, I was overweight. That's when I had my back injury for the first time. It was really hurting me those first several years. I was single and lonely, depressed. Oh, shut up. Even though my back injury, it pretty much is not a problem for me anymore, I still like to err on the side of caution. And I did have issues with my back injury with long drives on the highway and stuff like that. Gel seat cushions. I bought these when I moved in because back then I still had a severe back injury. It was very uncomfortable.
Sorry, this one's a little shorter, y'all. Been pretty busy lately. You know, work and life has been kicking my ass, as I'm sure y'all deal with the same struggles all the time too. So, hopefully we get some good content soon, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
So either you enjoy and you support when you can and you understand why I ask for contributions, or you fuck off. It's one or the other. There's no in between. This is actually a case, there is no black and white.